core traits of humans is that we are able to tell stories. It is argued that no other species have this unique capability. 40,000 years ago, cavemen started drawing animals or figures to relay information on threats, survival, and food. As the written communication grew, it took humans many thousand years to standardize the script. Around 5000 BC, predecessors of alphabets were born in the form of Sumerian cuneiform and Egyptian hieroglyphs. In the Indian subcontinent, at around the same time, there was Indus Valley civilization and prevalence of a script, however, which has not been deduced till date. Examples of this writing has been found in potteries, amulets, seals, etc. The earliest education system in India relied wholly on stories and folklore. According to Indian culture, teacher or guru was the most important person in one's life and was placed on a similar pedestal as the god. In ancient Indian education systems, stories were ways of imparting moral values and helped in shaping character and holistic knowledge of a human being. One popular story is that of King Vikramaditya. He carries Betal, a spirit, to his destination. But the spirit gives a condition to the king. On every journey, he tells a story to the king and finally asks the king a question. The king has to answer the question correctly, else he faces death. Each story has a moral or a higher purpose. Not just moral, political education also happened in the form of stories. And while the culture, the practice has evolved, the stories and the moral lives. Fast forward few thousand years. It is industrial revolution and colonialism in many countries that spurred public and mass education. The schools as we know now were spreading rapidly. However, with one catch. The free market capitalist mindset propelled education as information exchange. This mindset urged people to be skilled traders. Stories gradually went away. Classrooms became unidirectional information exchange centers. Students were taught many subjects, graded, passed, or failed, similar to a factory produce. Over time, this has affected the growth of human minds. However, in spite of information technology and data boom, stories have stayed. You never forget the charm of Harry Potter, although you may as well forget the first name of Hagrid. Science has found the reason behind the effect of storytelling. The fact is that our brain is wired that way. While we are presented with a story, our entire brain gets activated and we relate to it, thus likely never to forget. Whereas when presented with information, only specific areas are activated and we are much more likely to forget it once we are taken away from the information source. This has been one of the pertinent problems of current education, and we have seen questions like, why aren't students employment ready? Or, there is a huge difference between school and real world come into surface. Storytelling has made a comeback, but through economical and marketing channels. People who sponsor marketing research realize the powerful tool that is storytelling. How people are more consumed by a story, how they are likely to retain the brand information has been proven. And thus, it is slowly creeping back to education as well. There are of course teachers who inculcate storytelling in their normal classroom, but formally, it still has a long way to go. The present has many dimensions to offer. The most mentionable component is obviously technology. As technology grew, storytelling is now widespread in movies, photos, music, and most recently social media feeds. The Insta and Snapchat stories are a burst of emotions and visuals captured in one moment. Granular daily events make story of a person's day. Everyone now has a story to tell. As technology crept into classrooms, storytelling is also making a comeback, but in many forms. In this course, eTech 565M, we had analyzed different formats of storytelling. GIFs in education, videos in education, podcasts in education. And if you analyze, these are technologically enhanced storytelling capabilities. Private institutions envisioned by technological flag bearers like AllSchool have in fact taken a step back. The childs receive personalized learning, albeit through high technology and teachers, but the knowledge is aimed at holistic growth of the child. So, what does the future hold for storytelling in education? Are we in a way going back to the story approach where case studies are analyzed and remembered? How is technology supporting that change? Well, as mentioned earlier, technology is providing the foundation for storytelling. Many apps are making it easier to create content on various devices. Sharing these stories are easy through learning management systems. Only this time, the world is a global village and students can be from anywhere. However, there are some challenges with storytelling in education as well. Storytelling is an art. It requires skill set. It's not just reading, it's narrating with expressions, gestures, and dramatization. Not all teachers can be great storytellers. Likewise, even though there are content creation apps, not everyone can be a skilled graphic designer and develop engaging stories. As opposed to information that is by nature objective, stories are subjective. They come colored with opinions, bias, and cultural influence. One can argue that it is the presence of those components that makes the story so powerful. But is that the direction we want to head to? Storytelling, like every other thing, is finally a tool. How one uses this tool is in education depends on the users. But one thing is for certain, it holds immense power and it should be utilized more easily with technological spread in education. The world is shifting towards knowledge worker. According to a statistic, over 30% people in the workforce will be a knowledge worker in US by 2026. As the population shifts focus towards knowledge, stories become invincible. Technology has brought us into the age of information, but in the knowledge era, stories are here to live. What story will you tell about expanding education?